Every company has this incredible treasure trove of knowledge, right? All those policies, training manuals, and best practices. But what happens when that knowledge is just locked away, scattered across a dozen different systems? Well, it becomes pretty much useless. Today, we're going to dig into how conversational AI is becoming the key to unlock all of that, especially for HR and learning teams.
Just think about it for a second. When you need to find something, like the latest travel policy or you're trying to figure out a new software process, how much of your day do you waste just searching? If that sounds painfully familiar, you are definitely not alone. This is a massive hidden drain on productivity for so many businesses. It looks chaotic, doesn't it? Because it is. This right here is the reality of what we call fragmented knowledge. And it's not just messy, it creates very real problems. You get frustrated employees, totally overwhelmed support teams, and costs that just keep climbing. This is what we call the modern knowledge crisis.
And hey, this isn't just some buzzword. It's a real set of challenges that companies are wrestling with right now. So let's break down the 3 big pillars that really define this crisis. First up, disconnected knowledge. Your company's supposed single source of truth is, let's be honest, actually scattered across a ton of places, right? PDFs, internal wikis, old chat logs, spreadsheets, the list goes on. This makes finding a reliable, up-to-date answer almost impossible right when you need it most.
And second, all that disconnected knowledge creates a huge burden on your internal support teams. Your HR and IT folks get absolutely flooded with the same repetitive questions over and over and over again. How do I reset my password? What's our parental leave policy? It just drives up costs and slows everything down for everyone.
And finally, it all comes together to create massively inefficient operations. When people can't find the info they need, what do? They fall back on slow, manual ways of doing things. And that just means more delays, more human error, and more missed opportunities for the business to move faster and, frankly, smarter.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll finish unpacking this crisis, and then we'll introduce a solution called Botza. We're going to really focus on how it's changing the game for HR and learning, peek under the hood at how it works, and then zoom out to see its impact on the whole company.
Okay, so now that we're all on the same page about the problem, let's talk about the solution. How do you take all that scattered, static information and actually make it useful? Well, you turn it into a conversation.
And that is exactly what Botza does. It takes what it calls inert knowledge. Think about a 200-page PDF just sitting on a server collecting digital dust, and it completely transforms it. It becomes this dynamic, interactive experience where any employee can just ask a question and get an instant, accurate answer. Now, while you can apply this tech across the entire business, its impact on HR and learning and development is, well, it's profound. Let's look at 3 applications that are proving to be absolute game changers. First up, the Onboarding Assistant. We all know a new hire's first few weeks are so critical, but usually it's just a whirlwind of information overload and confusion. Botza is designed to fix that.
So instead of just bombarding them with a mountain of documents, an AI assistant actually guides them through everything they need to know, tailored to their specific role. It automatically answers all those common first-day questions and delivers resources right when they're needed. The whole experience is centralized, which makes it way smoother for the new employee and takes a huge administrative load off of HR.
And here you can see the assistant in action. Now, this example is for an IT issue, but you can just imagine the same kind of conversation for a new hire, right? Where do I find my benefits info? Or, hey, can you walk me through setting up my email? It gives that clear, step-by-step guidance, just like a super helpful colleague.
Okay, next up is the Policy Chatbot. This is a big one. No more digging through some shared drive trying to find that one specific clause in a document you haven't looked at in a year. We've all been there. This thing centralizes all of your company policies and standard operating procedures into one searchable AI assistant. Employees can just ask a question in plain English and get an instant, reliable answer. And that word reliable is key. The chatbot is always pulling from the latest approved documents, so you know the information is always accurate. Now this is where we see the real power of the platform. This spot, for example, was built to handle incredibly complex aviation guidelines. If the AI can accurately interpret highly regulated, super technical information like this, you can be pretty darn confident it can handle your company's internal policies with total precision. The third game-changing application goes way beyond just answering questions.
It's about actively building skills with interactive training and assessments. So what happens here is Botza actually converts your static learning materials into interactive lessons. It can create quizzes and evaluations straight from your company policies to test for understanding and make sure everyone's compliant. And for the L&D team, this means automated grading and audit-ready reports, which helps speed up skill development across the entire organization. So we've seen what it does, especially for HR, but how does it all actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the 5-step process that powers this whole platform. It all kicks off with step 1, knowledge ingestion. This is where the platform securely connects to all your different documents and systems, basically centralizing all your company's knowledge. Then, in step 2, the intelligence engine gets to work, using AI to understand the context and all the nuances of that content. Step 3 is the no-code bot builder, which lets your own teams design and launch these AI assistants without writing a single line of code. From there, step 4, the assessment and training module, creates those cool interactive lessons we talked about. And finally, step 5, analytics and governance, gives you all the dashboards and controls you need to manage everything securely.
Now, while we've been focusing a lot on HR and learning, it's really important to get that this technology has a much bigger impact, because unlocking knowledge helps every single department.
This chart shows a pretty typical breakdown of how different teams use the platform. Now, it makes total sense that customer support is the biggest user, but look at HR and learning. It makes up a huge 22% slice of the pie. That really highlights just how critical these applications are for managing internal knowledge and employee development.
And look, this isn't just some concept on a slide. Botza is a proven platform. We're talking over 120 active enterprise deployments. It's already being used at scale by major organizations to solve the exact problems we've been talking about today.
Which really leaves us with one final powerful question to think about. What if every single employee in your company, from their very first day, had an expert AI assistant right in their pocket? An assistant that knew every single policy, every process, and was there 24/7 to help them do their absolute best work. That is the transformation we're talking about.